Hello students, in today's session we will discuss what is three-moment theorem and we will understand what is its application, how we will solve the problems using this theorem. This theorem is proposed by Clapeyron scientist who has discussed that if we have a beam with a continuous supports or if we have a beam with which is spanning more than two supports, then such a continuous beams are indeterminate, and to solve them we require additional equations. And how to solve those beams, how to analyze all or how to identify all the unknowns in that beam is the part which we're gonna focus or which we're gonna understand here, right? So let's understand first of all few theory parts. First part is a continuous beam is an indeterminate structure. Why we are calling a continuous beam as an indeterminate structure? Because see, if you have a beam like this, if we have a beam like this which is simply supported at its end, the number of unknowns in this beams are 2. The one support reaction at A and support reaction, second support reaction at B. These are the only 2 unknowns comes into my B. But when I continue it for more than 2 supports like this, if I have placed intermediate supports, then it makes it more complicated because see, support reactions are increasing. How many support reactions now? 3, 4, 5. So how many equilibrium, how many number of equations you require to solve this? Obviously you require 5 equations to analyze the 5 unknowns. But we have only 3 equilibrium equations. So we need an additional equation if we want to identify all the unknowns from this beam, right? And therefore we call this continuous beams as an indeterminate structure, right? Next they are saying it is supported on more than 2 supports. It is supported more than 2 supports. Obviously the simply supported beam is placed and supported only on 2 end supports, whereas the continuous beam is provided intermediate supports which can be in a more number, that can be 3, 4 as per the requirement of construction. Then next is, this theorem is designed by taking into account of bending moment at 3 conjugative supports in a continuous beam. Okay, so this theorem is driven by, or driven by means what? What it is consist of? It is consist of, or it is found, analyze, or it's a way of analyzing something is based upon taking down the bending moments at 3 conjugative supports. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. 3 conjugative supports we have. We are taking down the bending moments at this 3 conjugative support in a continuous beam. So we will move as names stated here. Even if we have a long and continuous beams which may span over 5, 6 or 7 supports, but we will approach only for the 3 supports at a time. Okay, we will write down, we will analyze the 3 conjugative supports and we will come down with the bending moments of those supports, right? So this is what the basic idea behind this theorem. Now what equation they have proposed? See, this theorem has a basic derivation which has a lengthy procedure to derive an equation. I am focusing upon that equation. I am giving that here. I will explain each and every term out of that equation. But if you want a derivation, we have a books, you can refer that. But as we are dealing with the online examinations, there we the university or question paper which you may face will be more based upon the application part. Whatever you have learned through this theory, which equations they have proposed, that you need to apply and solve for certain problems, right? So we will focus on the application part. I am skipping the derivation here. Earlier when we used to write for the 100 marks paper, which will be a written paper, that time they will ask us a derivation, lengthy derivations they will ask us to derive. But here as we are dealing with the multiple choice questions, we will choose to go with the numerical part more in a more depth, rather choosing go with the theory. Okay, so this is the equation which they have proposed here. They said moment at A, let's take the three conjugative supports, that will give you a better idea. Okay, this is my A support, this is B support, and this is C support. What they have proposed in their equation? They said moment at A into length, ratio of length by moment of inertia. They have said moment of length here, you can see length and moment of inertia. Now when they're talking about the length will be for span number 1. Okay, divide by moment of inertia of that same span. Then twice of MB. Twice of MB into L1 by I2 plus L2 by I2. That is for B support, moment at B, plus MC, moment at C, into L2 by I2. What is L2 by I2? This is L2, this is I2. They are equating this moment with certain other values, which is 6 into A into X bar. What is A? A is the area of bending moment. For this span, I will draw a bending moment. Let's take it is like in a triangular shape. I will take the area of that bending moment, and that will be your A here. Right. Then X bar. X bar will be a centroidal distance of this bending moment diagram. And I and L, I already stated, I will be a moment of inertia and L will be a length of that span. Right. So this is what equation they have proposed, and let's get into the terminologies. A1 and A2 are the bending moment diagram for span AB and BC respectively. A1 and A2 are the centroids of a free BMD from support A. Now this is what you take seriously or understand better. See here, this is my three conjugative supports. I am trying to calculate the bending moment diagram for it. Let's take first bending moment diagram like this, and second one is like this due to loading conditions. Now I am calculating X1. So X1 bar you will take from A support. This one will be my X1 bar. Whereas X2 bar I will take from the B support, C support. B will be here. Right, I will take from the C support, and that will be my X2 bar. Understood? That's what I have wrote here. Centroids of free BMD from support A for AB and from support C from BC. Right. Now next L1, L2, I1, I2 are the lengths and moment L1, L2 and I1, I2 are the lengths and moment of inertia for AB and BC span respectively. Okay, now this is what the theory part behind this theorem, three moment theorem. Now we will move towards to solve the problems. Okay. Let's read the question first. Question says, analyze the beam shown in a figure using theorem of three moments. Okay. Along with this question, they will ask you to draw a bending moment and shear force diagram. So I will analyze that, or I will draw a bending moment and shear force diagram at the end of this analysis. They have given us a beam which is spanning over a 4 support, right? And spans are 3, supports are 4. Each supports carry certain loading upon it. Here you have a eccentrically loaded, concentrated load they have placed eccentrically. 90 kilonewton is the intensity of it. Then in the next span you have a 80 kilonewton loading, and in the next span you have a UDL of 30 kilonewton per meter. Right? Now to analyze this, you need to take down the bending moments first of all. And now you know, as we know how to draw a bending moment diagram for particular span, you know, right? But we are not drawing it for the continuous beam. No, am not drawing it for the whole beam. I am taking a part of it. I am dividing it into three parts. You can see here we have a three separate spans here. First span, second span and third span. Each span is representing a simply supported beam, as you can see here, right? And we will analyze separately the bending moment diagrams for each of this span. Okay, understood? Now, to analyze the bending moment diagram, first of all you have to calculate shear force and first of all you have to calculate reactions at each support. How many supports you have? You have every span 2 supports, right? So calculate the support reactions. This 90 kilonewton load is coming upon my beam. How I will calculate the support reaction? See, simple it is. You can take a help of three equilibrium equations. How you will do that? I will show you for one beam. You can apply it for the rest of two spans. For this span I am calculating. I am doing first of all summation of Fy equals to 0. All the forces in vertical direction I am summing up it to 0. I am checking it. Okay. So support reaction R1 plus support reaction R2 equals to total downward force 30 kilonewton. R1 and R2 are acting upward in direction, whereas 90 is acting downward in direction. Therefore, R1 plus R2 will add up and will give a 90 kilonewton load, which is balancing it, which is trying to balance it. Now, what will be R1 and R2? That is question. Okay, so for that I will do summation of summation of moment will be 0. Now you can take summation of moment either at of a side. You can go with the R1 or you can go with the R2. So I am choosing to do summation of moment at R1 equals to 0. So I will start from R2. So R2 into total perpendicular distance 6 meter, and R2 is developing anti-clockwise movement, which is from the right hand side taken as positive, whereas clockwise, which is making 90 into perpendicular distance 2, that I will take negative, because clockwise movement right of hand is taken negative. Equated to 0, as I am doing the summation of moment equals to 0, equated to 0, you will get R2 equals to, yes, R2 equals to 30 kilonewton. What was my equation? R2 into total distance 6 minus 90 into 2 equals to 0. 90 into 2 how much? R2 equals to 90 into 2 180. It gets positive if we transfer it to the other side and divide by 6. 6 3s are 18. We come across R2 equals to 30 kilonewton. If out of 90 kilonewton, if R2 supports 30, what is remaining will be supported by the second support. That will be 90 minus 30, you will come across a 60 kilonewton at second support. Likewise, I have analyzed the support reactions for each of this span. Here also you can take down similarly. Here also 80 kilonewton load you have, which is eccentrically placed at a distance of 2 meter from A support, and from B support it is at 3 meter. Okay. If I analyze summation of Fy equals to 0, what will be the equation? Ra or R1 plus R2 equals to 0. Now I am taking summation at R1 equals to 0. That will lead to R2 into total distance 5 minus 80 into 2 equals to 0. 80 into 2, 160. 160 divided by 5, you will come across 30. Yes, I will do here, check it out. 80 into 2, 80 into 2, 160, divide by this 5. 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. 32 kilonewton load will be taken by R2, will be taken by R2, 32, and whatever remaining will be supported by R1, 48 kilonewton. In the in the last span, it is very easy to calculate the reactions because load has symmetrically distributed on your span. Here the load is 30 kilonewton over a span of 40 meter. First of all, that UDL has to be transferred into the point load, and that point load, whatever point loads comes upon my system, that will be equally transferred or equally distributed or taken by your two supports. So 30 into 4, it is 120 kilonewton, and this 120 will be transferred to two of the supports, half at one support and half at other support. So total support reactions will be 60 and 60 kilonewton, right? Once you calculate the reactions, next step is to calculate the bending or to develop the bending moment diagram. Now it is easy. Once you have a reactions, you can simply find a bending moment diagram. I will approach from either of the support, 30 or 60. 60 into 2 meter, what it is 120, or 30 into 4, what it is 120 kilonewton. So my bending moment diagram for concentrated load, which is eccentrically placed, is a triangular shape, and the highest magnitude of bending moment is 120 kilonewton meter. Next is 80 kilonewton. 80 kilonewton is, now you have already calculated reactions. Reactions tells that 48 at A support. 48 into 2 will give me a 96, or 32 into 3 will give me a 96 kilonewton, and that's what the bending moment diagram for second span. For third span, you have to see carefully. It is loaded with the uniformly distributed load, which will turn its bending moment diagram into parabolic shape. So bending moment diagram will be a parabola, and what will be the maximum magnitude of bending moment? That will be 60 into horizontal distance. What is that? 2 meter. How much it is? 120 kilonewton. 120 kilonewton meter, right? Wait a minute. How I have calculated the bending moment? That is wrong way. Actually 60 into this distance 2 minus, always remember there is a uniformly distributed load. That is how much? 60 into 2 into that UDL. UDL will be 30 into 2 into 1. So 60 into 2, 120, minus 30 into 2, which is 60, giving me a final magnitude of bending moment as 60 kilonewton meter at its highest point of a parabola, right? Otherwise, you have a standard formula to calculate the bending moment here, which will be WL square divided by 8. You can choose either of the way. So we have drawn the bending moment diagrams now. Next is calculating the centroidal distance for this bending moment diagrams. See, one more thing you can observe here, the bending moment diagram showing the peak exactly at the bottom of your concentrated load. So it is very obvious observation, and you must have remembered this from the bending moment diagram lesson from most subject. You understood that where there will be a point load or concentrated load, at that point a chances of developing maximum bending moment occurs, right? And when there will be a uniformly distributed load, bending moment will be in a parabolic shape, and it will show a degree of at its peak it will show a maximum bending moment value, right? Now finding the centroidal distance is a new task. How we will calculate centroidal distance? See here. For first diagram in this, I want to know the centroidal distance. We have a standard formula for it. If such a triangle you come across, the formula for calculating a centroidal distance from R1 support and R2 support is mentioned here. You can check here. For from R1 if I approaching, what will be the distance of centroid? This is where the I have marked the centroid of our triangular shape. I have shown the distance from here to here. That is, I want to know that. How I will calculate that? L, total length of your triangle, plus A. A means what? This distance. B means what? This distance. Now, this A and B is not a distance of centroid. See here carefully in a diagram. Yeah. I have wrote, see, 2 meter and 4 meter as well. I have drawn this pick line, a dotted pick line. I have extended that to the bottom of your triangle. The purpose of doing that is to identify A and B. This is your A, this is your B. Okay, now let's move towards the centroid. For centroid, the formula from RA is total length plus A divided by 3. How much is the total length of my triangle? 2 plus 4, 6. What is A? 2 divided by 3. 8 divided by 3. Okay, that will be my if you calculate it in your calci, answer will be 2.67. That will be the centroidal distance of my triangle from A side, or you can take it as a from left hand. Okay, now I want to know from the right hand. Now that is quite easy. Total span, total bottom length of my triangle is 6 meter. Now I am subtracting 2.67 from it. 2.67 from it. If I subtracted, what remains is 3.33. Otherwise, you can go with the formula method where L plus B divided by 3 gives me a centroidal distance. Exact similar formulas I have applied here. The only magnitude has changed here. The values has changed here. Formula remains same, and calculate the centroidal distance from left and right hand side for the second span, which has a triangular bending moment diagram. Now in the third, you have a parabola. It is symmetrical diagram and no eccentricity is developed in the bending moment diagram. No unsymmetry is there. Everything is symmetrical. That time the centroid of my bending moment diagram will be situated at its center, and that help us to understand the centroidal distance from left hand side and right hand side. It exactly dividing my my curve into two halves. Therefore centroidal distance will be 2 meter and 2 meter. But here you can see the centroidal distance is somewhere else, okay, from your pick position, right? Here it similar. Pick of your parabola as well as the centroidal distance falls on a same line. Now here our problem doesn't end. Our equation you have to remember. What was the equation for Clapeyron's theorem? Moment A, if you remember, moment A into L1 divided by I1 plus twice of moment B into L1 I1 plus L2 I2 divide, yes, plus moment C into L2 I2, equating it with certain values. What was that certain values? That was 6A1 x bar I1 L1 plus 6A2 x bar I2 L2. Okay, that was the equation. That was the whole equation of a Clapeyron's theorem. I have shown it in the parts. Okay, I have first of all wrote left hand side and then I have wrote right hand side, and we supposed to equate it. I am focusing this here. Why I am reminding that equation is 2. Now we want to calculate 6A1 x bar for each of these 3 spans. Okay, now we have a bending moment diagram with us. We have a centroidal distance of it. We know the length of each span, so it is easy to calculate these values. Let's see how I have calculated. For first diagram, the area of yes, we need a triangle as well. Okay. For first triangle, the area of this triangle will be 6 into why I am writing 6 here. 6 is from this formula. Area will be 1/2 into 120 into total distance 6 into x bar. Keep it as it is. We will put the x bar at the end of this calculation. Divide by I into L. I is keep as it is. X bar and I you have to keep as it is. We will add or we will put the values of them at the end of calculation. Into L. L span for this beam is 6. Okay. Next, for next span again 6 remains as it is. Area will be 1/2 into 96 into total span 5 meter into x bar keep as it is, I keep as it is, and L will be 5. Next is now in the next calculation you can see 6ax bar. In it you have to take an area of this parabola. For this parabola the area formula changes. That will be 2/3 of length into breadth. What is length? 4 meter. Height 60 into x bar keep as it is, I keep as it is, and length of my that span is 4 meter. Simplify it. Use your calci, simplify it. You will get the answers. You will get the answers like in terms of x bar and I bar. Okay. Always keep your calci along with you and try to calculate it. Check my values also. Okay. If I somewhere goes wrong, there can be a chances. You can correct it with using your calci and doing it by yourself. Now next part of our analysis. Here we have calculated all the right hand side of my equation. Right hand side of my equation was consist of 6a into x bar divided by IL. 6a2 into x bar divided by I2 L2. This we have successfully calculated in the above parts. Okay. Now calculating the moment is the purpose of our analysis. How we will approach for it? See here, we are going to approach for conjugative supports. How many supports? 3 supports only. We are approaching for a beam with the conjugative supports. 3 conjugative supports. How to apply a equation? See here, I have drawn a support for you. Conjugative supports beam diagram is placed here. We will see first of all moment at A. Moment at A into length divided by I1 plus twice of moment at B into I1 L1 L1 I1 plus L2 I2 plus moment at C, third conjugative beam, into L2 divided by I2, and this terms we have already calculated. Now you can see here I have put a red pen mark here. I have scratched it and wrote 0 because see my support here you can understand it. My support reaction support at A is simple support, and at simple support moment remains 0. Only moment develops at fixed ends. My end is not fixed, it is simply supported, and therefore moment will not develop. And that's why I have added this from this equation I have added MA is equals to 0. Here I is equals to, since I is equals to I1 is equals to I2, because see I am designing, or I am sorry not designing, I am analyzing simply supported beam which has a prismatic shape. What is prismatic? It means that the section of a beam which has a depth, let's suppose 200 mm, will remain same throughout my span. Though it is supported on one support, two support, or more than 2 supports, still it remains prismatic. Its depth will remain constant. Okay, that's why I will not change from span to span, and I have taken a I value constant for 3 of the spans. Therefore, no change in I value. That will end up the numerator denominator part. Okay, all i's are same, therefore you can take all i's I at 1, and here this will be same, you can cut from both of the sides, you can cancel it. Right, now what remains with us? Calculation of movement. Yes, wait a minute.